I'm at REITWeek 2013 in Chicago, and joining me is Vick Seth, Managing Director with Raymond James. Thanks so much for joining us, Vick.
My pleasure.
How have the Federal Reserve's quantitative easing programs affected the REIT capital markets?
Well, pretty significantly is the short answer. There's an estimated $250 billion of money printing each month between the Federal Reserve and the Bank of Japan and everybody else. And my own guesstimate of that $250 billion, over half of it is showing up on the U.S. Capital markets and asset markets. So there is an inflation, if you will, good for us in prices both on the asset side as well as in the capital market. So that has created a lot of liquidity, and the transaction flow, particularly on the follow-on issuance of equity and preferred, has been substantial. It's also created a pretty big demand for yield. And so yield-hungry investors are, by definition, looking to the REITs and related securities as a place to generate some income. So I'd say pretty significantly.
Are there any sectors where you think IPO activity could be especially pronounced?
You know, IPOs are starting to reemerge. There is obviously, when there's that kind of supply of capital, you have to meet that. You know, with new company formations, that's a good thing. I think that the sectors that particularly are ripe for IPOs are those that are trading at premiums to NAVs. So whether it's multifamily or retail, the retail is probably, you know, my top choice to see a couple of fairly large portfolios come to market for the second half of the year, because the arbitrage between the private and public is favoring the public markets today.
So let me ask you, what do you think will be the big REIT story in the second half of 2013?
Well, you know, I think this next couple of weeks we'll have to see how the market rebounds from this correction. But I think it's actually going to be a continued storyline. You know, one of the new sectors that has emerged is single family for rent. And so I continue to see that play out in the second half. Clearly there's huge opportunity in the marketplace when you look at the fact that there's over, you know, somewhere between 3 and 5 million homes that will be coming onto the market. There has been substantial capital investment and certainly a lot of rhetoric about the space, but we're just in the beginnings of you know, really the IPO sector, IPO formations, if you will, in that sector. So I'd say that continues to be the big theme. I think that you know, if these stock prices rebound and we go back on sort of the trajectory that we had for the first half of the year, you're definitely going to see the arbitrage between NAV and NAV premiums, you know, moderate somewhat, because there'll be new companies in there from an IPO perspective.
Thanks again for joining us, Vick.
You're welcome.
I'm Carissa Chappelle for REIT.com.